My name is Herman, and my topic is instant replay. And I need some audience cooperation here. So, who has seen a baseball game? Alright, that's somebody. Alright, so I'm going to give you a hypothetical example that would happen in a baseball game. So, we've been talking about Matt Kemp. So, Matt Kemp charges forward from center field, charging from a sinking line drive. His glove, imagine this, his glove, the ball, and the grass all smack together. What's it called? Out or no?
Out.
All of you? Well, why don't we just do the instant replay? Wait, in baseball, there is no instant replay other than for possible home runs. If there was an instant replay, the MLB technician, who overshadows the game, would then transmit video footage to the crew chief, the main umpire, but unfortunately that's not a possibility. My proposition and my main claim is that an expanded use of instant replay, except for balls and strikes, will increase correct calls. My supporting claims are umpires can make mistakes, we're humans. Instant replay helps the umpire make correct calls. And finally, instant replay can exist without harming the game. My first claim, umpires make key mistakes. One blown call by an umpire occurred on July 19, 2011. In the bottom of the ninth inning, the last inning, umpire Phil Cousy called Andres Suarez of the Giants out. He was saved, replay showed. The Mets won in the 10th inning. This is according to MLB writer Grant Brisby. Now, 10 days before today, Arizona D-backs, Aaron Hill hit a line drive down the line. In the first inning, it was ruled foul. Replay showed James Hoyce blew the call, but there is no instant replay. Now, according to Quinn and Weinbaum, writers of ESPN, in the show Outside the Lines, they did a 2-week study from June 29th to July 11th. ESPN analyzed all Major League Baseball umpire calls other than balls and strikes. Of close calls are the ones that need instant replay. 65% were correct. 20% were incorrect. 13.9 were inconclusive. So that means in close calls, umpires get it wrong 1 out of 5 times. Now, my second claim is, instant replay helps umpires to increase correct calls. The use of instant replay allows a crew chief to see what happened in slower motion and helps facilitate this call. According to Quinn and Weinbaum, retired umpire Don Dinkinger said, replay can help umpires achieve the only goal, and that's getting the call right. Now, another crew chief from the main umpire, Tim Walk, a 24-year umpiring veteran. Our goal as umpires is always to get the call right. Instant replay is another tool we can use to get it right. If this helps us correct the mistake, then that's a great thing. Umpires usually perceive instant replay as beneficial to the game. Now, my third claim is instant replays can exist without harming the game. One of the reasons people oppose instant replay is because it harms the game by increasing the game from an already long baseball game. Now, San Luis pitcher Ryan Franklin has a solution to this problem. Teams should cut 10 seconds off between every half inning, and that can make up for the replay on, for instance, a trapped ball. Instant replay doesn't happen that often, it's according to MajorLeagueBaseball.com. Now, ESPN analyzed, as I mentioned before, 184 games from June 29th to July 11th. There were 230 calls in those 184 games that were close calls. Now, that's an average of 1.3 calls per game that required further review. Now, 1.3 calls, that's like around 1 call per game, correct? 1 call per game, that would add, what, 5 to 10 minutes to a game to determine a valuable call? I mean, based on that average, 5 to 10 minutes would be added to the game to decide a close call that umpires get wrong, what, 20% of the time? In conclusion, instant replay is a great asset to assist umpires in making correct calls. Umpires make mistakes, and instant replay is there to help umpires correct calls. Instant replay can also exist without harming the game. And I'll sum up from a quote from former Orioles manager Earl Weaver, who once said, as long as you got human error involved, and the umpire is seeing a play one way, and you're seeing it the other way, the only way to decide it, the correct way, is through technology. Thank you.
All right, the main proposition is clearly cited. There was one piece of phrasing in it. I know you've got kind of an exception that's built in there that makes it a little more convoluted than it needs to be. I think you could put that into the background information and take it out of the proposition itself. It would be fine. The secondary issues were clearly set up at the beginning of the speech, so we know where you're going and how you're going to develop this. You signpost them as you get to each one. It's very clear. You make smooth transitions on each of those points. There's good background information. You use a couple of good examples. Some of the things that on the examples probably could be a little bit more convincing. For instance, the significance of those particular games, if any of them made a difference in playoffs or standings or anything along those lines. I think that that would help suggest that these differences, these mistakes, for instance, do in fact matter, and that if it's 20% of the time, and that if we figured out the number of games that it would make a change in, for instance, let's just assume that it was 20% of those games, then that might mean that a team could potentially win or lose an extra 8 or 9 games a season. That would be something that would be pretty darn important to the standing or the performance of the teams. I thought you had very good statistical information based on the studies that you're citing, and you were very consistent about citing all of your information. I like that. I thought you gave good explanations at every point, and you have a good way of engaging the audience while you're speaking. The summary was really solid. It's a good way to finish off making your argument one more time before we are done. Thank you.